Hey, we're about to get into another episode, of course, sponsored by Prize Picks, man. Shout out to Prize Picks for rocking with us. We're super excited to have them as partners on the podcast because I'm a user of Prize Picks, man. Prize Picks, it's how you watch sports and win cash, and it's the best place to do so. NFL season is here, and look, you got to just create a lineup, all right? Pick more or less on a few players' stats, all right? And Prize Picks is available in 45 states, including California and Texas. Right now, if you support me, if you support the podcast, man, sign up. Yeah, use that promo code Bootleg right now on Prize Picks, and they're going to give you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Use the promo code Bootleg. When you play $5, you're going to get $50 in lineups. That's right. I mean, that's crazy, right? What are we talking about? Now, this week, week 2, NFL season is here. I got a couple of things I want to get into. I'm gonna walk y'all through my lineup that I like the most this week. I put a few together, but this one I like. All right, we're going to go to this Green Bay Packers game. Josh Jacobs, more than a half a touchdown receiving or rushing. Matthew Golden, the rookie, the wide receiver, first-round pick, more than 34.5 receiving yards. Jamar Chase from the Bengals had a really rough week 1. I like him to bounce back against that Jacksonville Jaguars defense, more than 86.5 yards. I like Aaron Rodgers to not look like he did last week. We're going to do less than 224.5 passing yards. And then I like the beast, the god, Saquon Barkley, Super Bowl rematch to get more than a half a touchdown against the Kansas City Chiefs. That Kansas City Chiefs defense looked really, really shaky against the Chargers last week. That's my lineup. Put yours together. Use that promo code Bootleg. Prize Picks right now. Play $5 and get $50 in lineups. That's what we do and support the show. Go to Prize Picks. Use that promo code. Let's get into the episode. Bootleg Kev. Hey, we're here with my guy, the legendary Evidence, who brought me so many gifts. We got a mug. We got Rubik's Cube. No one's ever brought me things to do homework with my kids with.
Puzzle.
We got a puzzle.
Puzzle.
I'm really, are these colored? They are colored pencils. So we can do art.
Have kids. And then.
Come on. The colored pencils with the unlearning, in case I want to pick up the pen, maybe get some bars down, But this vinyl, we got to show everybody the vinyl, Ev.
Let's start the interview with a bang.
Now, these are sold out, obviously, right?
This is sold
out.
It's like a bundle. The OB strip comes signed.
Signed, yep.
And then everybody does OB strips. Which one? Where's the camera?
This straight ahead.
This one, apparently, we made it to say something along the lines of, since nobody can read this, peace to everybody in Japan.
That's tight.
I had a great time in your country. That's what it says.
That's pretty much what it says.
That's pretty much what it says.
That's fire.
Y'all can check it out. And then, so that's, motherfuckers lighten me up with that in Japanese.
They probably love
use
it.
The translate button a lot.
Can we show this puzzle piece vinyl thing?
Yeah, and then, so it came with, there's a song that's produced by Conductor that's not on the album, and it's on a puzzle vinyl. Like Mayor Hawthorne had the heart vinyl, like the Bobby Caldwell joint.
Is this a 45 or just a normal 33 and a third?
Good question. I think it's 45.
Probably 45, right? Actually, no, I feel like if it was a 45, there'd be the bigger hole in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. So it's 33, probably 7. And then an instrumental.
Amazing.
Which is tight. Conductor's having a minute, so this is like to have like a
he's having a, definitely.
Beat, you know what I mean?
It's funny, too, because he always gives you props.
And then, look.
Oh, that's crazy.
The picture disc.
What is the turn? Because you have to turn the album in a while ahead before you.
And instrumental album. We did this bundle for $100. All that was crazy.
That's well worth it.
It was dope.
My thing is when you know you're gonna do something crazy like this, like obviously you gotta. Is it like 90 days out? You gotta turn the album in.
That's the crazy part. Like, so with RhymeSayers, I've been doing bigger picture releases. So I've been producing my own albums on my own label.
Right.
But as an artist, as an MC, I've still been signed to RhymeSayers.
Right.
With So like learning about the manufacturing and like.
Can you move this way a little bit just in front of the mic? How you want to? I want to make sure.
Are you to your right?
Let me get you right. Did you get there?
Yeah. Oh, for me it is.
Cook. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because you have been doing the vinyl thing on your own, so you know, this is obviously an official evidence album, so it's a little different. Obviously, you had to like what leeway do you have to give RhymeSayers so they can make sure this is ready by the time the album comes out?
So I've been doing like producing Blues album
Yep.
or Damo's album.
Los Angeles album's hard, yeah.
Thank you. And then stuff like that, there's a certain time frame that I'm used to, but with RhymeSayers, it's like there's still a bigger picture at play. Like they're soliciting to Amoeba.
Right.
And things like that. And so we're still doing a pre-order and it's a longer lead-in time. And like after I've been doing the independent thing for a minute, like getting used to like more of the older way a little bit,
right.
But in a dope way, like
yeah.
a bigger reach. This takes a long time. Like I mastered this album in November.
Wow.
Think about that, and like, so I started shooting mad videos because I had nothing else. So I was like, there's going to be a long time for me to.
You guys shot the video at the Apple Pan, my favorite burger in LA.
You know what I mean? And like all those videos were all a little bit ago.
Right.
And so I just got stacked up on artillery to have when I drop. But yeah, it's frustrating. Or you got to not have Butterfingers because people want to drop everything they got. And I envy it a little bit. Like moving in real time is something that I want to get into more.
Right, because I do feel like I feel like when we think of you as an artist, it does feel very like we get gaps in between projects. It's not as in real time as like, yo, maybe you get in with Conductor and you
with
guys
my
bang
production,
out.
it has been.
No, with your production. But I mean, like, let's say you and Conductor get in and you guys bang out 8 records. You're rapping over his beats, and you're like, what if we just want to drop these? Like, and then okay, well, fuck, we got to think about vinyl. And
so the whole lead-in is hell, but then when you drop it and it's proper,
feels good.
Feels good.
When you got this,
when you got everything, and it's like, and people are like, wow, look at the attention to detail. People spending their money, which is real.
For sure.
And then they get a package that's like, you could tell people gave a shit. It does go a long way. So
100%.
Alchemist is my is the Oracle, and then there's RhymeSayers. And between the two of them, they're like, this is how you do it like that, and this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying?
It is interesting. Like, I feel like Al has kind of changed the way a lot of people should look at the vinyl game, because he's really like he was explaining to me how he was able to kind of figure out that direct to record plant relationship, and it's really changed his business model as a producer. For you being able to work with guys like Blue and like do these like side projects with Damo and all that, like, is that something that you were able to pick up from Al in terms of just like figuring out the new business model of what it is to be Evidence as either a producer or a rapper?
Yeah, there's been like a tremendous reinvention, and it came subtly over a long time. So there was no like banner that I just, started waving. But watching him do that, because you got to understand, I watched all the evolution of Alchemist. So his whole thing was like, look, figured out a bunch of shit where things went wrong. And I'm going to help you trim the fat on those things. And I'm going to give you the playbook, how to save years from the mistakes that I made, And those were a lot of things like not doing your own album through your own label.
Right.
Taking advances. And because they made my first chemistry set through Mass Appeal, Boldy James Alchemist, right?
Right.
2015, 14, something like that. But that didn't ring off like Price of Tea in China did.
Right.
It wasn't even close. And that's because you could tell one thing is more, because I argue the music is just as good.
Right.
And so I think when it's yours and the fans know they're supporting you directly, you don't have to do a Patreon. You can say, this is a fair exchange. I'm giving you crack.
I'm going to give you a kind of like a piece of art.
Crack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in return, you pay, and it's like, yo, the value of this is going up after.
I see it with the Al vinyl. Like I'm sure your vinyl, like you could go on eBay and like a lot of these limited edition vinyls, like if you're a fan, one, it's dope to like support and get something dope that you could tangibly put on your shelf. But if you're just like, I want to support and fuck, I'm in a tough time, I could flip this vinyl for $300. Like, it is what it is. Like,
and so the whole point was that it was like, I was like, look, this is the way I'm having success, and I'm watching it, I'm seeing it. It's not like he has to floss it or show me something. I see it in real time, just from the studio and the people who are coming over, and you're noticing things. Okay, there's been an upgrade going on, and there's a new fever for what's being created. So he was like, you need to do this. So my idea was, all right, I still got a couple more on RhymeSayers. Let me start producing other artists under my label. I can get the feel of what this is like, start building with people, get a mailing list, create my website, see what my insufficiencies are, what I'm strong in, and also get to flex my production, because I produced for a lot of people over the years, but it was always like a track here, a track there.
right.
I did full bodies of work, but they were always for another label. And so this was like, okay, now you got to show people you're giving out your best beats. If it's on your label, you're going to make the art, you're going to shoot the video, you're going to believe in the artist. It's something you want to post on the front of your Instagram, not just in the stories.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're serious about this. And then by the time I get off RhymeSayers, I'll have a well-oiled machine, kind of more than me making me the guinea pig.
Yeah, as opposed to you like jumping in to the pool.
From the dopest label to like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? 100%. And so it's been like a 2-3 years, but I did 18 releases, which is crazy.
That's dope,
lot. And there's I was telling somebody else, it's like, these are the people who are all the way locked in. The people who would know the keyboard player's name from Radiohead if they have a keyboard player. But my point is, you know what I mean? And so not losing, but like maybe losing some casual fans in the process of really gaining some people who are all the way dialed in.
Hey, we got to stop the interview to tell you about our good folks, Odd Socks, man. Now, these are the Odd Socks basics, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when I tell you this is a product that every single day I'm alive for the last 5-6 years, I have used are these Odd Socks basics. Now, what Odd Socks is doing is they're kind of reinventing the sock game, if we're being honest, and the underwear game. You know, a lot of times you'll hit Walmart, you'll hit Target, you'll get some socks, you'll get some draws. They're affordable. They end up with holes in them. They don't really feel great. Not Odd Socks, ladies and gentlemen. These Odd Socks basics are the most comfortable socks I've ever had on my feet. Not only that, but they're super affordable. $14.99 for a 6-pack. That's it. Oddsocks.com. And if you don't believe me,
Sock check, fool.
sock check, fool. Wait, the X is on the other side. There we go. Ah! You see that? Sorry, you had to see those white legs. But it's so dope that, you know, I get to push a product that I use and that I love. So Odd Socks, they got the 6-pack of socks for $14.99 at oddsocks.com. The basics. This is the future of socks, the future of underwear, comfort and affordability. I'm talking about affordability without jeopardizing the quality, because they are the most comfortable socks you'll ever put on your feet, ladies and gents. And the et ceteras. Got to show love to the et ceteras. We like all the stripes on the flag. They're oddsocks.com, man. Much love to my brothers over there. Make sure you get some right now, oddsocks.com. Let's get back to the interview. For people who don't know, because I think that, you know, it's funny because I was talking with Al. We had like a random 3-hour hang before this Alfredo 2 event, and we were just shooting the shit. And he was telling me, he was like, yo, like right now, I was like asking him, I was like, yo, who are the producers right now that you feel like are like really in their bag he's like, yo, honestly, Ev is like unlocked a new tier of like being in his producer bag. Is that something? Because I feel like you're like a studio rat. This is just kind of your life at this point. I'm like, you would just do music for yourself that nobody else would ever hear if you had to. But is that something you feel like you've just elevated recently with maybe just the launch of the label and like kind of realizing like, hey, the production side of this is how I'm going to unlock this business model as a guinea pig, like you said, you know, with these other artists? Do you feel like the production bag for you has gotten like just crazy recently?
I think it's evolving. Like in
because the beats on that Los Angeles album last year were crazy.
I think it's evolving. In photography, you're not supposed to know you're getting better. You just shoot every day, and then you look back at your photos and you go, wow, I used to just only shoot at the sun. You know, sunsets only. I had no idea. I just pointed my camera at the sunset every day.
Right.
And then you start looking and, wow, look at this. I'm focusing on people's hands now.
Right.
Making a series like that. So I think I've just become more, and I've just kept doing it. I just kept doing it. And the thing I can always say, and a lot of people always say, is always be the weakest man in the room. You know, that's a good saying.
That's a great way to move.
And if you're hanging out with Al, and I'm hanging out with Sam I Am, and I got Budgie, and I could think of Knowledge in the room, and I could think of Chuck Strangers in the room, and I could just start picturing everybody who's in the studio right now. Sometimes I'm sitting in there like, fuck. And so that'll make you
But that's how you sharpen your sword, man.
And then when I'm recording people, you got to imagine, look, I had a few years off rapping. My last album was 2021.
2021, yeah.
2025. That's 4 years.
4 years,
that's
yeah.
like
the lifetime in hip hop.
career roulette, right? You know what I mean?
There's people's careers that don't last 4 years.
Done. But you got to imagine, it's like in that time, I recorded some of the best rappers and made dope ass albums with them. You don't think I'm not sitting there being a sponge, like absorbing all this shit?
And just even getting inspired on the MC side.
And I'm sitting with Earl and Al, and I'm sitting with Damo, and I'm sitting with everybody who's like, and they showing me love. So it's like, all right, how many doubts I have, it's being confirmed by the people that I care about the most. I could throw those out the window. And then there's other shit I got to deal with. But it's like, there's a dope thing about wanting to be the worst and then also being accepted. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it's like redeeming. Like, you know, it's not light. These are really, God forbid anything happens to anybody. These are real legends. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and so for Al to say it is the highest compliment. And he would never say it to me. That's the dopest part about it.
You guys, for people who don't know your guys' history, you guys have been friends since you guys were kids, right?
Yeah, since definitely.
For you,
real young.
Yeah, what was your guys' like genesis of y'all's relationship? Was it school? Was it just
No, it wasn't school. It was mutual friends, and malls were big at the time. People would
everybody would go hang out at the. I mean, yeah, my childhood, we'd just be like, it's
internet.
Saturday.
We don't got nothing.
Yeah, let's go hang out at the mall for 6 hours. And,
It was Riz.
Hang out at Riz. Sam Goody and listen to some albums. You know, maybe go to GameStop, play some demos. You know,
shit was a little crazier than that, but he was just in a common circle. And then there was an open mic one time. He said he saw me trying to get the mic. He was intrigued by that. And then after a while, we were just hanging out. But this has got to be 14.
Wow.
15. And then, you know, I've told the story a million times, but I lived in Venice next to QD3.
Right.
Quincy Jones' son. And, you know, he was, at the time, there's no Pro Tools, nothing like it. And having a studio alone was just a
big deal.
Big fucking deal. And so to come to my house, maybe we could go over there, smoke weed.
Right.
And so my house became the place in Venice for me, I was the man, but also for the bonus of we could probably go over to Q's house. And you got him, and he's producing Ice Cube and Tupac and shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm living next to this. Even if that wasn't at the time, maybe a little later, it's still like the evolution. I met him. He was doing the music for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I mean? So It's just legendary shit.
It's crazy too, because I feel like there was this like, you know, I always try to tell people when I was a kid. So I met you when I was so Platform Tour came to Phoenix, the Nita's Hideaway, when I was probably 12 or 13. Probably 13 actually, because that was 2000, right? Was that 2000 Platform?
Yeah.
So I was 13. So this is a time when my best friend Ramses finds out that his brother is in a rap group called Dilated Peoples, Rocka, right? So he had went out to LA and hung out with his pops and Rocka, and at the time the Licks were around and all this. Anyway, so the first time I get to meet you guys, I'm 13. I'm go to this concert. That concert really changed my life because at that time I was like, I'm always been a hardcore hip hop head, but I was very much like very into like DMX and, you know, all the commercial shit, the No Limit Records and all this shit. But when I went to this show, there was a DJ who opened up for y'all. I think he was from Arizona. His name was DJ Megadeth. And he was just playing shit like I never even fucking heard. And I was like, it was like it unlocked this whole thing as a kid for me. But fast forward, you guys do Expansion Team. And I got to come to LA with Ramses as a kid. I went to the Fat Beats signing you guys had which was also a cool thing for me because I was hanging out in the office at Fat Beats. I was like a 14, 15-year-old. Fucking Raw Dig is there. Obviously, J5 pulls up. And then you guys had the expansion team release concert. I think J5 was there, right? Anyway, this whole, like, you guys, I always say Dilated Peoples as like a fucking, as a, just, you guys really changed my trajectory as a hip hop fan.
So that led you into everything else.
Yeah, bro, like really changed my life, you know? And so I used to tag your guys' logo on every folder I had. I still have old folders from high school and middle school, and I can hit that fucking logo with my eyes closed.
Here's the thing. I'm super proud of you. Just walking in here, seeing everything you've accomplished. You know, I've always been the young one in the crew, you know, so I know what it's like.
Same, yeah.
You know, and so I know what that's kind of feels like, you know, even if it's an evolution of it. And so, yeah, just to see you do all this is crazy. We could talk about it later. But I don't even want to drag that. I didn't want to even drag that element into it just because I'm proud of
Thank you, man.
everything that you're doing. I don't even look at you as the kid that I used to know. It's a trip.
But I want to know, like, because I remember around that time, like, I went and copped, like, I got the Defari album, Focus Daily, from the warehouse. And I remember you were in that motherfucker. You had long hair in the booklet. Mm-hmm. And this one, I'm learning about, like, Liquid Crew and all this stuff. And, like, kind of this just collective that, you know, involves kind of everybody when we talk about you and Rock and, you know, X and King T. And
what's the trip is, you got to think, me and Al are friends. He goes to New York to college, and I stay here.
Because that was 95 when he left, I think.
Something like 97, 98.
Okay,
99,
yeah.
actually. No, yeah, later. And so then he's mobbing with everybody out there, and then this is what I'm doing out here.
You're mobbing with all the LA legends, and he's out there building with the infamous mob.
It was wild. It was just wild.
So I wonder, like, at what point in time, because obviously you're kicking it with Al, like, where did the idea of Dilated start? Because you guys had one of the most successful independent singles of all time on vinyl. Yeah, with Work the Angles. Yeah. At the time, it was the most successful. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but at that time,
it wasn't SoundScan, so it's hard to say. But it did really good.
Crazy. It did really, really good. But like that record kind of kicked off you guys getting a major deal and putting out an album and obviously having a crazy album run. But like, what was the beginning of you, Rock, and Babs kind of coming together?
Alchemist and me used to go to freestyle at the hip hop shop on Melrose. Rocco worked there. I met him. I had seen him before at a graffiti yard. Doing graffiti, so I already liked him and knew him. Had somebody to talk to when I walked in there, you know.
Right.
And then, he probably seen us rhyming. I linked up with him. Like I said, I lived next to QD3, and I had beats from him that maybe my mom gave him money for something.
That's crazy.
Something real sweet. You know what I mean?
Like, he's like, yeah, I got you. Here's something.
Whatever it was.
Here's a beat CD. Do what you want with it. Yeah.
You know what I mean, or whatever. And so I used to run with that. Like, yo, maybe I told Rocka, you know, we could do a demo or something like along those lines. Mm-hmm. You know, I like the way he rhymed. Alchemist was already rhyming with Scott Kahn.
Yep.
I wasn't in that group. I was looking for something. I didn't want to rap by myself. Rapping with somebody who looked like me wasn't going to happen. There was nobody else.
Right.
So it was like, okay, well, this is dope in a different way. You know what I mean? And Rocka was more street, older. So I was like, that's kind of fire. And then, so yeah, we just started working. He led to him knowing DJ Lethal from House of Pain. Mm-hmm. Which led to doing demos there, getting a record deal, getting an album that got shelved, and then coming back through independence on
ABB Records,
and then meeting Babu, who worked at Fat Beats. Everything just kind of happened. It's that young shit of just being young, and the world is in front of you, and you're not questioning, and you're just taking it all in. You know what I mean? And so things just were moving, and then that led to making the Work the Angle song, pressing up vinyl, selling out shows on Sunset Strip.
Crazy.
Labels coming to check it and getting a record deal. It was wild.
Yeah, Work the Angles is it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And
crazy.
It's like it somehow has not aged. Like when I hear the song, it just, you know, there's certain records from that era, especially from like the quote unquote like backpack era of LA hip hop that like I loved growing up, and then I'll listen to sometimes now and I'll be like, this thing, Work the Angles is fucking, it's on the mantle, bro.
Some of that shit was done really good because now everything is digital. A lot of that was analog.
Right.
And the analog shit still holds up in a major way if it was done right. 100%. So you could still, you could put 80 plugins on and you can't just get what it was like hitting tape. You know what I mean? And so some of the older stuff, if it was done right, holds up in a weird way just because of the fact that we're all trying to emulate that so much
100%.
now through all the
through the plugins.
You know what I
You're
mean?
trying to emulate what you guys did because that's all you had.
That's all we had.
Yeah, 100%. You already know, man. Want to give a shout out to Slap Woods for presenting the podcast. Only papers I smoke, man. Only leafs that we let fly around here on the Bootleg Kept podcast. We just did a crazy pool party with them too. That was insane out here in LA. So shout out to Slap Woods. When I tell you, man, quality, they smoke so good, and they're called Slap Woods because they slap. I know that's like their tagline, but it's also the truth. All right. So look, go follow them at Slap Woods. Make sure you hit their website, and if you're at your local smoke shop, if you're your local store and you need some papers, get you some Slapwoods. I think pretty soon we are going to do this pretty soon. I want to do a giveaway with some Slapwood stuff. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be announcing it on the podcast. We're going to be sending out, obviously you got to be of age, sending out a good box of these goodies. Ooh, the sweet banana cigar wraps are fire. Slapwoods, man. Make sure you go show them some love. Slapwoods.com. Follow them on Instagram at Slapwoods. Let's get back to the podcast. Okay, so the platform ends up coming. You guys end up signing. I'm sure there had to be some sort of bidding war for you guys to end up with Capitol.
Yeah, the bidding war happened. We went to Capitol because they didn't have rap, and we thought
if we're the only rap,
all the other people liked it, but they said what you did was good. But what about working with such and such? And at the time, we were so like
we were
gangstar minded. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to do more of this
the way we want it. And so Capitol just didn't know any better. And they gave us more money. So it was the place to go.
So platform comes out, amazing body of work. I feel like things started to really change, at least commercially for you guys, once Expansion Team drops. Because
the first album wasn't accepted commercially, but we had such a strong fan base that we did numbers.
Yeah.
So they kept us for another.
And it was a great album.
Yeah.
Great fucking album.
Yeah.
But Expansion Team comes, and then you guys finally kind of get, I guess, a taste of what like mainstream success could look like with a record like Worst Comes to Worst.
Which is ironic because it was such like just a dilated kind of record.
It was super dilated. You had Guru doing like a little like
there's no real
bridge.
Chorus.
Exactly.
Like the way Eric Sermon, just like music. We had When Worst Come to Worst, My People Come First. Just a refrain constantly coming back. The song is 1 minute and 50 seconds. Capitol said that couldn't work, so we added the instrumental at the end for like 2 minutes. If you've ever noticed, it's a short song on the vinyl, and then the beat just runs for mad long. And that's how we defeated. Like once they saw it longer, they said, "Cool, we didn't do anything different." But craziest thing is that really worked to our favor because they would play our song on Power 106, let's say, but not because they wanted to, because it was working in the format or what is tested or whatever.
Right, it was testing. Yeah.
It was working, not because
it was researching.
It was researching, but not because the DJs at the station were excited that it was researching.
Right.
But it was, and the Capitol had some money behind it, I'm sure, so they were playing it. So they'd always play it at the end of their segment. What was dope is we had that long instrumental running at the end, so they would use that as the gap to talk about whatever the fuck
they were talking
and get the next DJ on.
Right.
And so our beat would just be running for like 5 minutes as like an ad. And it really it propelled the song at radio for some reason. You know what I mean? And that one just worked out. And I would say that second album is the most pure Dilated ever was at the moment. Because it was really our first album. The album that came out previous, we had made previous to having a deal.
Right, this was kind
of
of you
time
guys
we made an album. You know what I mean? On a label. You know what I mean? And so it was,
because it's almost like if you think of like Work the Angles was recorded as like a single, and then it ended up in a and you guys actually
Platform was just a collection of songs.
A lot of stuff that was released independently prior to that.
Yeah.
So the Expansion Team to me is like one of my favorite albums ever, and I think of like even just like the moments where like Phil the Agony gets an interlude and Tafari gets an interlude, and like you guys had like I feel like even live on stage ends up being like
in Step Brothers.
It ends up being like a video game song too.
It was in the movie though.
It was in Step Brothers.
It's still in the movie.
NBA Street.
All that shit. But it's in the movie Step Brothers when they're on their job auditions.
Right, but it's like crazy that like
which is why we call it Step Brothers. Me and Alchemist.
I see that. But yeah, that was such a important album, just for me personally, man, because that to me, like you said, like that album to me is like a classic. I think it's your guys' best album, and I feel like it kind of changed everything. And then Neighborhood Watch comes,
troublesome time.
So Neighborhood Watch happens, and then
That's like the labels in the mix now.
so now the label's like, yo, we get a little taste.
Because we almost went gold with this last one. Did really good. You know?
I'm assuming
Probably
worst comes to
I'm
worst,
sure it's
gold now.
I'm sure. But the at the time it was like
So they're
we had a silver plaque in Europe or whatever. Something, you know, it was like a big deal.
I remember the worst comes to worst video. I remember like, oh shit, man, these underground dudes got a BMW. This fool got an X5, dog.
First day it came out, you know. But so it was like, yeah, I was in my little thing right there. I don't have any jewelry. I don't do none of that. I always just want a nice car and a good microphone, and that's my jewelry. But
So-
all to say was like once that happened, Black Eyed Peas were blowing up, and a lot of A&Rs got bright ideas.
J5's doing well too. Like
so.
I feel like
They
J5
really
had
well.
some like I remember J5 would always be on like MTV at least. Like
Yeah, they had a crack. Interscope was really good.
you guys had that word of mouth tour.
That was amazing. You know, the whole thing was dope. And then at that point, it got a little cloudy. I think ambitious a little bit.
But I love Neighborhood
Oh,
Watch.
good songs. A great record with the Kanye song attached to it.
I love Neighborhood Watch. But Marathon is like one of my favorite fucking songs.
Good. I just mean the Kanye single being like
So was
representing the whole album that really didn't represent that song.
I would say, would you say like was This Way like a label play?
It was a label play, yeah.
100%.
100%. And then, but that was cool because it was like working with Kanye West really wasn't different than working with any underground beat maker to me at the time.
At that time,
He was
yeah.
making soul samples with break beats attached to him. I didn't see the
What's coming? Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, but obviously,
You know what I'm saying?
But
Nah.
back then, I feel like it was obviously a different time. You guys obviously went on tour with him too, and
later, but when they're proposing Scott Storch or Kanye West as ideas, Kanye West felt like, oh, that's the guy who made Truth for Beanie Siegel.
right.
That's a dope loop. I would have looped that. You know what I mean? Like he was
It's more natural to the dilated brand.
like-minded.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? With the East Coast sound, it wasn't that crazy to me as an idea.
This Way was one of them joints that like again it like you. I'm like, oh shit, like this, it's really fucking happening. Like you turn on BT, This Way is on. The video was crazy.
It never felt right. It never felt all the way right. But a lot of the moments were genuine. And like me getting to produce on College Dropout and then going on tour with him, he looked out for us in a major way. And he did his best to make us feel comfortable in his ascension. Like he was there for that. So I give him a lot of.
Was that era? Because I feel like you said, because you was it Last Call on College Dropout that you were able to help produce or you co-produced or whatever.
I produced that shit.
You produced the record.
And then the sample got denied, and then he took it away.
Was
Take
that
it away,
something you
Kanye
guys-
West. I didn't know. After that, he just amazed me with what he did. He deserves the production.
Was that something you guys worked on in the This Way era? Were you
Right then, same exact time.
So-
Jay-Z was doing the Blackout.
Yeah.
I had to beat Mr. Rockefeller, Bette Midler sample, and say, "Can you get it to him?" And then he wanted it, and then that was that.
Wow. So you guys did you guys cut This Way in the studio with Kanye?
Yes,
So that was like how was that session?
pretty good. It was 2 days. Keisha Cole was there the whole time.
Wow.
John Legend was there the whole time. These aren't artists who are big yet. So it's not weird. I'm picking them up in my car. You know what I mean? So it's just like another day. If I pop in there and some up and coming kids. You know what I mean? And so really, I mean, it was obvious what was happening. And it was obvious that something was.
I remember.
But, he was also Rockefeller. So it wasn't like he was nobody. He produced fucking
But this is prior
Jay-Z,
to the College Dropout though.
Correct. And looking at him as an artist was what I wasn't doing. I was still looking at him like Buck Wild or looking at him like that. You know what I'm saying? Or Just Blaze or somebody just dope on the production side.
Yeah, because I think around that time he probably only really had like Through the Wire circulating on the mixtape scene, and then the Twister record.
No, that came
So
out
was Slow Jams out?
way later,
that's
man.
crazy.
He was showing us the video for Through the Wire, like the raw edit.
That's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
So you guys go on this tour, and this was another cool LA trip of my childhood. I came out here and I saw you guys at the House of Blues, open for Ye, but this was also doubled as like, because your guys' LA date
Was our release party.
yes,
Yeah.
because Neighborhood Watch dropped around that same time, and it was wild because you guys performed, and like everybody and their mom came out during this show. From what I remember, I think Exhibit came out. I feel like Dub C came out, maybe not during your set, but I just remember being at the House of Blues on Sunset and being like, yo, this is like, I've never seen so many famous motherfuckers perform in one night. Like Kanye, I think Kanye were the Young Guns on that tour?
Yep.
Young Guns were on that tour. That was a crazy tour. I still have pictures from that tour. I think at that time I was probably like 16. So I just remember I have a picture with Kanye West at the Marquee Theater in Phoenix. Picture with you guys. I got my blue Neighborhood Watch Echo shirt on. But yeah, like you said, it was almost like that was like the first tour, really. That was the College Dropout tour, right?
So crazy.
It's like the genesis of like, obviously.
Yeah, Consequence was on tour, really though.
GLC,
everybody.
the hip hop violinist chick.
Mary Ben-Ari.
John Legend was just, I remember because.
Motherfucking, who's the dude giving everybody cuts who's like famous, super famous barber?
Dude, it was wild. What was like the tour life like? Because you guys are these LA guys. Obviously, you guys are kind of at this point like your own thing. But like I feel like that College Dropout era, it was kind of like it
was different. That Dilated has a wide variety of an audience. That was, I remember performing it being a predominantly like black audience. You know what I mean? And be like, okay,
yeah,
this is current. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like white people clinging on to a past era type shit. You know what I mean? This is like happening right now. We had toured Little Brother. They have like an audience like that as well, which has always amazed me. Amazing. But yeah, so it was dope to me. It felt a little different than when we're just doing like our backpack thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like almost like Ye he kind of took the backpack spirit and put it into this commercial package that I don't think we had seen in a long time.
Never happened before.
Yeah, like first of all, the polos talking about like,
but just being proud of Talib Kweli, proud of Mos Def, like championing. I'm gonna go to the top and I'm gonna champion the people that should be championed. You know what I mean? That was his edge to me. Was always like he probably he said it in his rhyme somewhere, but putting like this person with that person,
right?
And not being afraid to do it was bold, and it showed solidarity. Another strong thing from Al that I was talking to somebody about. It's like, yo, he's still showing me as much love as he did, no matter what's happening. You know what I mean? And it's like that says a lot.
Yeah, I think too with the the certain level of hip hop that I kind of came up listening to, and the community that obviously is here in LA that is from that era. I think it's important that everybody sticks together more than that. Like I feel like Al's a perfect example of somebody who, like, no matter how big of a placement he gets, he got Meet the Grams or whatever, like Al's still gonna do records with who he came up like,
or just what he likes.
Or what he likes.
That's it.
Like I was floating ideas to Al. I was like, yo, it'd be crazy if you did an album with so and so. And he's like, I mean, yeah, that's a cool name, but like, I don't know if I'd want to do it type shit. And that's
what
why
about,
he's great.
What about Restraint?
Right.
You do shit. Maybe there's somebody
like, to me, him and Larry June doing their shit was like the most natural shit ever. And it came. And by the way, you're on that project, which fucking the first one. But shout out to Al, man. He's definitely two of the top 4 albums of the year in my book so far. So shout out to Al. Want to give a shout out to our family at Roken, man. Roken, listen, I love these vapes. Roken Cannabis. Make sure you go shoot them a follow. I was in Austin, Texas, and I was off the Roken in Texas, even though I'm not sure legally I was supposed to be off the Roken in Texas. But look, you got to go follow them right now. Go to rokencannabis.com. Shoot them a follow on social media. You'll see it down below. They got the solventless rosin, pure. It will melt you in a good way, by the way. All right? So make sure you go shoot them a follow, man. And we only rock with the premium, the best. And when I tell you, Roken is the best, they've been doing this for so long. And, man, the rosin, the solventless rosin, man, it hits. All right. So they got the disposables, they got the carts. Let's just open one of these up just so y'all can see. These carts are beautiful. All right, we got it open. He fast forwarded. All right. So this is the cart. And then obviously you got your disposable right here. Both of these incredible. Follow them and check them out, rokencannabis.com. Can you take me to so '08 is the Weatherman LP, right? Is that right?
7.
'07.
Yeah.
So '07, the Weatherman LP comes out, and it feels like there's kind of like, I feel like you as an MC, I feel like when like with the early Dilated people shit, you could always kind of tell like, well, Ev is like the guy who can produce and rap, but Rock is like the guy who could rap, But it felt like every new album that Dilated would drop, your bars would get sharper, you would get better, right? And then I feel like the Weatherman LP comes out, and man, I mean, it's front to back, just an incredible body of work, and personal classic to me. Do you feel like when you were working on that, did you feel like you had any sort of like chip on your shoulder or like something to prove?
Totally did. Not in a beef sense.
No, but of course, but just like a solo album from Evidence, and
I mean, I was in a group with 2 great people. So at a show, you got to imagine the confusion. It's like, who's here to see what? You know what I mean? Though I never had the defining moment of really, in the first however many years of my career, knowing exactly why things were the way they were. So making a solo record would be the chance to find that out. I'm young. I'm probably 28 or 9, right around there, in a real confident time. You know what I mean? And I felt like this is the time I'm going to do that. My mom had passed on the college dropout tour, so I left that. So that tour is beautiful and the worst thing ever, And then right around then, I was trying to figure out, how do I say something personal within a Dilated record? And when I was making a sequence, I had a song, and I tried to put it with Dilated stuff, with a bunch of anthemic or political or freestyle type shit, and it felt like, why is this just jumping out? So that was one of the main reasons to do a solo record, was to pay homage to my mom, straight up. And then I started to get into the idea of it, and I started to realize that songwriting and producing is something that I truly love, and that's what makes a great album. There's a lot of bar-ready rappers who have made projects that didn't hold up over a long period of time.
Yeah, it's like
So I was like, ooh, I know how to make records. Like even if it was my delusional mind, I really felt like that. I know how to pick beats, I know how to say the right thing, and I have a reason to make it. And so, yeah, that's just what happened.
I couldn't imagine like Chase the Clouds Away being on a Dilated album.
My point, it could. It could because Rocka would say, hell yeah, put that on the album. That's why it could.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there was not like Rocka never gave me no.
No, for sure. But it's such a person.
He was the biggest one. Like, stop doing freestyle records. Do something about something. All his shit is overly conceptual.
Right. Like,
you know what I mean?
He would do like a proper propaganda on a
political record or this or that. So no, if anything, he encouraged it. It wouldn't be that. It would just be my production filter going, this doesn't work. And so, yeah, me in a group setting is one Evidence, and me by myself is more Michael than it is Evidence.
Do you feel like, because I feel like between the Weatherman coming out and then fast forward a few years, you put out Cats and Dogs.
Layover, Cats and Dogs.
Layover, yeah, I forgot about Layover. Fuck.
And then I did the Beatles album. I did a bunch of shit. For like immediate fans, they were getting fed right around then.
So you have this like insane momentum as Evidence that rivals whatever I feel like, Dilated's momentum was at its peak.
I could never rival that because that was major. You know what I mean?
On Capitol, but I remember, dude, like going to your show like at this time.
No, it had a moment.
I remember going to like seeing you in Vegas at the Hard Rock, and you're fucking selling out in Vegas, and like you had like you had a lot of just. I feel like there was a like I feel like for a while there, a lot of like your fingerprints were on a lot of like some blog era rap shit that started to pop.
For sure.
That people wouldn't even like maybe even give you credit for. But like, do you feel, because you are naturally an introvert, and I know that you've gone through a lot on the personal side of your life that, a lot of people, I don't want to get into the specifics, but you've been through a lot. Do you feel like you purposefully kind of like relaxed on, I guess, like, because I feel like there was like a point in time where it felt like you just kind of like just were like, yo, I got to take a break from this shit. Like, I'm going to step back from being quote unquote Evidence. Was that something that...
You mean in like the amount of work I was putting out?
Yeah.
Or attitude?
I feel like just like the amount of work and just like, I feel like obviously, man, like I said, I feel like Cats and Dogs drops. And then after Cats and Dogs, what was the next thing?
Whether or Not. That was my biggest solo record.
That's crazy.
That's Throw It All Away. And that's all those 2018 or 19.
But that's a big gap, right?
Huge. But Step Brothers in between, a Dilated record in between.
The Dilated album, yeah.
You know, you can always trace me. I said on the new album, every time I disappear, it's through production. You know what I mean? It's like you could find me. I'm somewhere written somewhere.
Do you feel like though, like, did you, because I say this about my shit is like I purposely.
Well, I never had dreams of having a solo career, by the way.
But let's
start with that. I was at an in-store in Philadelphia with Little Brother and Dilated Peoples and Little Brother, and we were signing right next to TLA, and we were signing records. And somebody came to Big Pooh and gave him a project called Sleepers.
Great album.
And I didn't know what the fuck that meant.
You were like, wait, Big Pooh's got a solo album?
And what is this? And the guy, every other person who went up to him and signed Little Brother shit, they was like, yo, you're the man. And then as soon as the guy came up with Sleepers, he started talking to him forever about it.
Right.
I was like, well, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And
Shout out to
he's
Big
like,
Pooh, man.
And he's like, I got a solo record. I want a solo record. You know what I mean? It was like, I didn't see much past that. There was no big play here. It was just that moment on how passionate the solo record was versus the way people were looking at him when he was signing autographs for his group. I was like, there's a direct connection with that.
When you look back at, I mean, because this new album, man, I feel like this new album is incredible. It's one of the best albums of the year. The production is insane. I feel like when you think of your solo discography, where would you, if you were to take, because I feel like, you know, you could put this album up there, but I mean, if you were to take the new album out of, where would you rank your solo discography? Like, in your opinion, what's your best album?
How things play out over time is fucked up. So it's like, but I could tell you how I felt when I made them.
Right.
But how age determines is kind of, so, yeah, but I'll say that the Weatherman was dope to me because I made 16 songs and 16 songs were on the album.
16 for 16.
There was no miss. There was no asking if. They all had a reason and the order presented itself. I had a lot of great Alchemist production on that shit.
For sure.
I had him rapping twice. A lot of people just getting hip to Al rapping. But it's like, I've been hollered at y'all about this, man. Stop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now you guys figure that shit out now. I already did the mountaintop. My favorite rapper, my favorite producer, my favorite artist.
Yeah, for sure.
I did all that. So it's like, but yeah, and so that was great because the confidence and this no second guessing. I flew to New York and mastered it with Tom Coyne, who passed away, a legendary mastering engineer. Just all the way victory. Layover was the second one. That one was the same thing again. Real in my bag, but it was short, 9 songs. I guess that's an album nowadays. At that time, anything under 10 was an EP.
EP, yeah.
So I did that. But I was on Jason Goldwatch's label, which was Decon, which is now Massive.
I remember Decon,
And the reason we did that is because he said, I'll shoot a lot of videos for it. So I was early on the video thing.
Yeah.
I had like 8 videos for an album with 9 songs or 7 videos.
And a lot of your videos, what was that other platform that wasn't YouTube back then that people were, during the vlog era, would put their videos on that was like 4K or HD?
I don't remember.
Start with a V? Vimeo?
Vimeo? That shit's still up.
No, it's not Vimeo. Is it Vimeo?
Venmo. I said
Venmo.
Yeah, Venmo.
But Cats and Dogs comes out, and I feel
then that's my first RhymeSayers album. So that's all the buzz. Then I signed with them because I had been seeing what Atmosphere was doing touring, and it intrigued the shit out of me. And their social media presence early on MySpace and Instagram freaked me out because nobody was that organized. So I was like, I want to be with them.
Right.
They are organized. They're not in New York. They're not in LA.
They're in Minneapolis.
Yeah, they're just different. You know what I mean? I was like, I could. And
they got Brother Ali.
There's nothing like me over there.
Sure.
Nobody's doing my style shit. You know what I mean? And so then I did that, and then that led me to Current. So RhymeSayers has been huge in my solo career.
Yeah, I remember I remember when you and Brother Ali toured.
Yeah.
Was that 09?
Probably.
It was 09, yeah. Yeah, because that was like, and I feel like that was before Cats and Dogs, but I feel like that probably was
the lead into it.
You probably had already worked out that deal, and they're like, yeah, let's put you on the road with Brother Ali. And
exactly. They were doing something like that. And what a dope. That was like a reset button for me. It changed my attitude. These guys perform on carpets. They have in-ears.
Right.
they're not rapping at other rappers and other beat makers in the crowd. They're rapping at people who don't make music, just humans. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, it wasn't as B-boy as what I was used to, even though they are in the purest sense. It just had a Midwest twist on it.
For sure.
Used to.
Hey, we got to wrap up this interview. Another one presented by Hardin, baby. You already know what it is. Shout out to Hardin for presenting another episode of the Bootleg Kev podcast. Don't forget, when you're in Vegas, you get in that taxi, you get in that Uber, say, take me to Hardin, the #1 cannabis dispensary in the world. Premium selection of the craziest gas you could ever ask for. And then they break down what all the terps mean. It's incredible. Go to Hardin_Las Vegas, shoot them a follow. And when you're in Las Vegas, make sure you shoot them a visit. Hey, don't forget to go to bootlegkev.com. You know, we had to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the most viral interview of all time. Throw the shirt up so you could see it. I turned it down. Shout out to that boy, Big Boogie, a big college in Jacksonville. And we just threw these on sale. Half off for the 500 episode tee. Bootlegkev.com. Go get you a shirt. Let's get back to the interview. If you had to put together your personal Mount Rushmore of production. And you can't use Al because he's one of your best friends. So let's take Alchemist and let's
put him in there.
No, he built the mountain.
Because it's not undebated if he's in there.
He built the mountain. We know he's there.
What do you mean? There's so many people before him who built the mountain.
But I'm saying I'm talking about your personal mountain. You guys have been friends since you were 14.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's
okay, it's implied that Alchemist
I have a lot
is
of friends who rap who ain't gonna make my top 10 list. Let's say that.
But let's say 4 people who aren't the Alchemist.
Why 4? Because top 5. So how about with Al, it would be 6.
Okay.
Top 5. Yeah, this sucks. What's your favorite movie?
Big Lebowski.
Really? It's definitive? It's better than Godfather 2?
Definitively, The Big Lebowski is my favorite movie.
Better than Coming to America?
I think it is better than Coming to America. But.
Dr. Dre. Well, DJ Premier.
Primo.
Dr. Dre. Pete Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Enlarged Professor.
Okay.
And then it would... Right here is where it gets wild. Because this is a wild play. But notice mine all from an era.
For sure.
And then this gets debatable.
Okay.
But it's either Marley Marl.
Okay.
Or it's Kanye.
Respect it. That's a great list. And I feel like...
Because if you're going to go back to what inspired Premier...
It's Marley Marl,
it's Marley. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's what inspired the whole next generation of production...
It's Kanye.
It's either Pharrell or
It's one of them too.
And then Alchemist...
Of course.
It's different.
100%.
Yeah.
I respect the list. Would you guys do another...
Who did I miss? Who's the ones?
Maybe Madlib.
Not enough...
Maybe...
Not enough songs that changed life.
You said Primo... Maybe the RZA?
Oh, yeah, the RZA. So then there's the RZA. Then he might be the best.
Maybe. And it's crazy because he might be the best of all time, but he also...
The only armor, what is it? What is the thing in the armor?
The chink in the armor.
The only thing about him, that is just not a wide catalog of records.
Correct.
Outside of Wu-Tang.
I also feel like he kind of stopped, like...
And then that as well.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about like when I think of like Dilla.
Oh, and then Jay Dilla.
Because I think Dilla's up there.
And then Q-Tip.
Of course, Tip.
And then Havoc.
But when I think of I think it's crazy because I just had this conversation about just being able to survive eras with the output, and there's really not that many people. And when you start thinking of it in that sense, Al's in that convo all time. Because
he's done something that no one else has done.
I'm talking about reinventing over and over and over and being relevant over and over and over for such a long span. Knots is crazy.
But see, I was arguing with somebody who's of a higher stature.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to throw him out there, but we were arguing about rap. And he said, this rapper is the greatest of all time. And I said, shit, what about this guy? Who in my mind is out rapping that guy. And he goes, that dude ain't changed a generation.
For sure.
So what he was telling me was, yeah, he got maybe there's more syllables.
Like he could maybe like bar out more.
Yeah, but the influence he didn't. You
like
know,
I have that conversation all the time because I'm a big Black Thought guy.
You're doing this. Don't do that.
No, I'm a huge Black Thought guy. But it's like even like Lupe Fiasco. I think Lupe Fiasco, bar for bar, when he wants to like rap, could probably out-rap the planet. Now, with that being said, you couldn't put Lupe above Nas or Jay-Z, or even though like if you sent each one of those guys into a room and they had to come up with like 32 bars, like maybe Lupe has the best 32 bars, but when you're talking about the totality of influence of culture, longevity of relevancy, that's just something that when you have those conversations, you can't ignore.
There's some shit I watched on some platform the other day. It was a big platform, and they were interviewing some guy who I didn't know who he was, but the platform had so many members that I've decided to watch it. And he was interviewing some guy who ran Capitol Records in UK.
Okay.
Parlophone, whatever it is. But this guy apparently signed big artists. And at a time where everything was tanking,
right,
he was going like this. And he just said it's three things that I look for. I think he said in an order that decide whether this is going to work or not. And everyone, all his stockholders and all the people in the room were trying to guess, you know, the people who write the checks, like
right,
trying to figure out why this guy's working.
Right.
And they all said, talent. And he said, yeah, that's number 2 or 3. And then they said, work ethic. And he said, number 2. And then nobody could get 1 for a long time. And he just gave up. And he said, likability. I sign somebody if they're likable or not. That's it. And he said, if you base it on talent or work ethic, well, there's a lot of those. But he's like,
if nobody likes you,
then what does it matter? And said, we're in a music business. We're not just...
Keyword is business.
Yeah, that. And so it's like, for as nice as people are, they got to realize that in the music business, maybe they're not as dope as they thought they were.
Right.
But like in every other sense, they are.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's why sometimes person singing behind Sting is probably a better singer than Sting, but they're not Sting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're sitting behind him going, I'm singing much better than you.
That's a good
point.
Let's
keep it real. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
So it's like, but things work out for different ways. And I think he even said, yeah, put Madonna in a singing contest is what he said.
Yo, obviously, I always wondered this, to go back to Worst Comes to Worst for a sec. How did, like the Guru part of that song, by the way, shout out to Guru. Rest in peace.
Alchemist. Just, you know.
That might be one of Al's like early, like big, like radio records
No,
too.
he made that happen is what I'm saying.
Oh, he made the Guru thing happen.
Premier and Alchemist made it happen. Premier mixed that record. People don't even realize it. Him and Eddie.
Wow.
You know, it's just, we had a space. We asked Guru, can you put something there? We thought maybe a chorus would come in. It came out as a rhythmic shout out.
It was a dope shout out.
And it worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just like, I was so honored, you know? So that's just like that's just a magical wish list time, and things are happening, you know, with the best of the best. Mind you, I got to be in the studio. Al brought me in to hang out with Premier and Nas's Lifetime. Sometimes you get to meet artists when they're at a different point of their career.
That's a crazy point, though. Just
to be around some of these people it's like when I was hanging out with certain, you know, with the alcoholics or with certain, it's like in that, at the exhibit I'm looking at the pivotal moment when it's all happening. It's not that it's not just as great now, but you just got to remind yourself, like, pre-gray hair motherfuckers who are like in their bag. You know what I mean? It's like,
I always say, like, lately I've been trying to, because I live so much in like cool moments that I don't realize how cool they are. And you've probably been in a lot of these situations where you're like, you gotta kind of sometimes just be like, yeah, I've been trying to do that recently because I've been able to interview recently like Snoop and like just people I grew up like idolizing. And it's not a big deal to me anymore, but recently I had to be like, damn, like I just interviewed Ghostface Killah, which is like, you know,
wild.
He's like my 5th favorite MC of all time.
Yeah, but all the people too, when they come see you, they're like happy to see you and they know you, and it's not like you're just like a chore.
And it's even just like, being like a instrumental part of the interview side of the blog era. Like at that time when I'm interviewing Kendrick and J. Cole, like I don't realize like this is like a crazy weird renaissance in like hip hop.
And now we break for Viagra.
Blue Chew. But no, I feel like for you, like you had to have been in so many of those moments where you're like, damn, I'm hanging out during the Liquid Crew era of West Coast hip hop, or I'm hanging out around like, and you're a part of this.
You got to understand too, is like I see it now with my kid and other people, is like when you're young and hanging out with older people, you're not your best self.
Right.
You're tripping over your shoes, you're stuttering, your mouth is dry. You're on your P's and Q's trying to impress people.
Right.
And then you go hang out with your homies and you're the man.
For sure.
And then they see you over there. They're like, that's not even the same guy who's hanging out with us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being young, we got to experience a lot of like those like crazy, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, and I don't even know if I should speak type moments. You know what I mean? And now it's become, we've grown into it.
Well, now you can look back and be like,
but
damn.
you never get over that shit.
You shouldn't.
Especially, I hang out with B-Real. It still fucks me up. I'm not evidence around B-Real. Around Premier, I'm a mess.
Still Premier.
Yeah, he looks at me funny because it's like he don't even know who I am because you're just like, it's like Dwight Gooden, DJ Premier,
right.
Haley O'Gracie.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right,
it's like this wall of legend shit. Who's the homie? Which is, I don't know how to get over it.
Do you?
And I don't want to.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point. Like, you shouldn't get over it because that's what kind of got you here.
Right.
When I think of like, sometimes like we have these West Coast hip hop conversations, and like I would say the boom bap underground side of that conversation always gets ignored when we think about like what West Coast hip hop greats are and all that. Did you guys ever, because there was definitely a crazy movement coming out of LA between yourself, J5, Visionaries, Living Legends, fucking, we can go on and on and on. But it was very much different than what the commercial audience had perceived West Coast music to sound like, to be. What was it like, I guess, making music like that in LA and being a part of that like kind of backpack renaissance, but not really necessarily kind of sounding like what the general public had assumed was LA hip hop was supposed to sound like?
It was a weird time. It was a lot of like, where are you guys from type shit.
Right.
We weren't on,
because even the platform
we
weren't on the subway, like
the LA subway.
Right.
We were trying to show people, you know what I mean? But we weren't on the cover. It was, all our music was super East Coast inspired. But when I was growing up, I thought EPMD was from the West Coast.
True.
Because they were rapping on more bounce.
They were, yeah.
So it's cool. I like that. I would say Fat Beats was just a tremendous force in all of this. You said Music Plus. There was Warehouse. What was it? Tower Records.
But Fat Beats in LA was crazy.
No, I'm saying previous to that, that's where I used to go to the mainstream places to buy OGC or
right.
Black Moon, right? I didn't know. Then Defari put me up on game on, there's a store. He started naming off Rasco and shit that I never heard about him. What the fuck is Rasco?
Right.
He's like, oh, they got that up there. And I'm like, what is it? And I'm finding these 12 inches, Most Def, Miss Fat Booty,
right.
LP, Fun Crusher, Company Flow, Wild. I'm seeing all these records. I couldn't even, it was like, none of this was at Music Plus.
Right.
That was, and a lot of it was East Coast shit.
It's kind of like opens you up to a whole new world of like independent shit that you didn't even know existed.
Totally. So it showed me that like you can like East Coast shit and make East Coast sounding music or DJ Premier minded beats and have a store on the West Coast that's going to slang this shit.
Fire.
No internet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's like, prior to the internet. Yeah.
So it's like,
who was the first, I guess, LAOG when we think of like West Coast hip hop that like maybe is on like the more traditional sonically West Coast side that really embraced you guys? Was it obviously probably Be Real, I'm assuming, right?
Tough. Well, Lethal, House of Pain. So yeah, Soul Assassins. Well, a lot of it, Alcoholic Crew.
The Licks, yeah. So, King T.
I didn't know King T really.
Right.
But yeah. But we were always kind of like,
did you guys ever get on like Snooper Dre's radar back then?
I mean, you can watch us in the Cali is Active video.
That's way later though. But the Cali is Active is later. I mean, like, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. Like, did you ever find out like, yo, oh shit, Dre knows who we are? Because at that time,
no, it was finding out that Pete Rock played our shit on fucking the radio.
Right.
Shit like that.
I knew that like that side had embraced you guys. I just didn't know if there was like, yo, fucking DJ Quick is slapping our shit. This is crazy. Or, because I feel like.
No, I don't think so. I think it was more like, no. What,
Cali's active video.
Be Real for
legendary.
sure. Be Real showed love. There's an unquestionable.
Yeah, shout out to Be Real.
Yeah.
Last Dilated album was 11 years ago. Director of photography.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get another one?
You want one?
Of course.
You want one?
I wouldn't mind one. Yeah,
You wouldn't mind one.
I would fucking
You
love
think
one.
about it? You're like, yeah, I need that.
Well, when I've seen you guys perform live like 3 times in the last 12 months, and every time you guys perform live, I'm like, fuck.
I just did a song for Rocka. We put out a 45 in my 45.
I saw
series,
that.
Fire. Called Conflicts and Contradictions. Conflict and Contradiction.
Would you guys have you guys talked? You guys have done some live shows together recently.
We've been
a
doing
nice-
live shows. There's been a little demand for it. I'm not big on like living off the past shit, but I don't feel like Dilated is. When we get on stage,
Feels very current.
it doesn't. I feel like we give it our all still. It's not mailed in, never. So
I mean, you guys are all each two like. I just feel like it wouldn't.
I don't think there's a need for a new record right now. If we just started making music, but we live far, different lives. So I don't know.
You guys are very far apart. Yes,
I don't know I don't know what sparks it off. You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
even a single.
Maybe, but I don't hate the idea of it.
I love that's what I like to hear. It's like when I just saw Babu, I was like, Babu, duck season, dog. Like,
Yeah.
Can we do another duck season? Like, what are we doing?
Maybe.
Maybe. I like the maybe.
Maybe. I love rock. I love Babs, and they're still sharp as fuck. So I mean, it's if it wasn't overhyped and if it was just like out the way and like this is the thing I didn't know I needed today. Is that the tweet or whatever?
That makes sense.
This is the album I didn't know I needed on a Friday. Maybe something like that.
You helped with Conductor because I was interviewing Conductor and we had talked about how instrumental you were in kind of helping him network and kind of get in front of some of the Griselda stuff. Explain to me kind of your guys, because he's got a crazy. I mean, obviously you showed the vinyl that's not on the album, but the record that is on the album with Blue, it's probably my favorite beat on the album, to be honest. But it is crazy. Explain your guys' relationship, because Conductor is on a crazy run. He's obviously producing for Drake. He's producing for. I mean, he's killing it right now.
He's having his moment right now,
For sure.
and I hope that continues to. I met him at a show, man. I just met him at a
KC?
show. With Atmosphere. He wanted to come into the show. I got him in. I was aware to some capacity of what he was doing. Had no idea really. I knew he was nice. Kept in touch. He just felt sincere. I enjoyed hanging out with him that day. He had a lot of good things to say. Started peeping his Instagram, and it was like, oh, this is fire.
Right.
You know? And it's like, it's hard to gauge fire when there's 2 likes. Because everything is such like a driven.
Even if you don't think it matters to you,
It does, man.
It does.
It does.
It's subconscious at this point.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself, well, why isn't anybody else? Maybe I'm bugging.
Right.
And so, yeah, it was just early on his thing, but I kept enjoying what he was doing to the point where I was like, I got some beats. I don't know if it worked out, but now we're talking. And then, yes, I think Terminology, my man Term was doing an album with
Shout out to Term, man.
with horns. He had an album where he was doing album with all horn loops. Something like that, a concept.
Sounds about right, because Terminology has fucking a million albums.
Yeah, he's like, at this point, I'm going to do that. And so I was watching a Conductor IG. He had a beat with a horn playing, tag Term. And they took off, and then probably somewhere in there it led to Griselda or something else.
Right.
I didn't do nothing for Conductor. He did everything for himself. I just liked what he was doing, but from a genuine place, not
For
from,
sure.
You know, because it's when things get shiny, it's so much easier to like him. I believed in what he did early. Yeah, it's not a surprise. I've seen so many people do well of growing up around Will and Ahmad and Red Foo and Scott.
That is
and
kinda
Al
crazy.
and everybody.
Yeah.
I've seen everybody do their thing, so it's not a surprise when I believe in somebody and other people do as well.
How many unreleased? Are you guys cooking up the new Step Brothers album? Is there?
Al's.
I don't want to say too much because I talk with
Al
Al.
is cryptic to me. Imagine that, and to the internet.
It feels like
You know what I'm saying?
he's wanting
Yeah.
this to happen. Another step.
think so.
Lord
Al's
Steppington
having-
was 2014. That's
he I think he has gangrene. He's been dropping those.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got a couple done. So I think that's probably something he wanted to do for a minute. And then I would hope this would be something like that. I think, here's the thing. I've tried to jump this and start it, but he raps on his own beats. So me sending him my beats ain't going to start this project. It's just not. So when he's ready is when it'll happen. But I think, like, we have a song called Rain Every Season on Unlearning Volume 2.
One of my favorites.
Which also has a puzzle. And an Obi strip.
and color pencils.
Yeah.
And a composition book. And
yeah, but I wake up in my email and I have a beat and a verse done. So it's like, that's going to get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can just do my part. Great. and then it's going to be on the album.
So when he wakes up in that mentality and has me in mind is when that'll happen. But I don't think it's too far away. Or I could be bullshitting and it's mastered already.
I think it probably is. It could be. Who's somebody that you would love to produce an album for that you haven't worked with yet?
Been thinking about this. Here's what I learned. The ideas of what you have are not what reality is. And so it would have to be somebody at this point in my life. It's like you're dating within your tax bracket. It's got to be somebody.
You don't want to overkick your coverage.
Nah, it's got to be somebody who likes to drive to my driveway.
Like you would say Jay-Z, like yeah, of course, yeah.
And he wants to use my bathroom at my house. You know what I'm saying? And
somebody who's going to come and we're going to record.
Use my forks that I wash in my sink. That's who I need to work with right now. And of that list, I have a
who's at the top of that list?
I don't know. I don't know who wants to come over.
I feel like you and Larry would be crazy. You guys obviously have some dope.
We have 2 songs that are dope. I've sent him beats. He's actually sent me back like, is this available? You know what I mean? So you never know. But things like that, as a producer, you know very well. Once somebody says that, it's 60-40, maybe anything, so. But I would love to work with Larry. But in all fairness, I got put up on Larry around Alchemist time of that record. So I would need to produce something that I have a full range of their whole career.
Right, like you kind of need to tap in and like
something that I know very well. Like doing Blue was really something. That Blue album was something that was high on my list. Believe it or not, like I might have answered this. He's one of my favorites. But I don't know, somebody who would trust me. I've worked with Gunn.
Gunn would be crazy.
I've done 2 with him already. I would like to work with Earl Sweatshirt. Who wouldn't want to work with Earl? That would be. I think he'd come over, and I think he would use my cutlery.
He was at RhymeFest. He came out with Al. Yeah.
Ask Earl if he would use my fork.
Earl would be dope. I would say on the up and coming side, I think Coyote would be dope. The 2 brothers, Coyote. They got a whole project with Static Selected coming. I feel like
Coyote. I'm learning about them through B-Real.
2 guys.
I already know it.
They were. They're super super talented.
If they want to come over, then we're talking. But
they'd come over.
Maybe, but that's the thing. I feel like I got to be producing people who I could be there with.
Is that kind of like for you?
Well, I have the Sony. What you're saying, the C800. I have that, and I have the Neumann, and I have the Manleys, and I have the things.
What you need.
I want to shape the whole sound. I have my booth. I have my mix engineer. I have my mastering guy. I want to.
For you, is that
create
kind of
a sound,
like you're
not just the beats.
If you're gonna do that, we got to be in my like. It's almost like you're coming over and we're doing this.
Kind of. Otherwise, or I could go to their place.
Right.
But I really just don't want to have like a mail-in.
No, the email back and forth shit is.
I would do it if it was the right artist. Of course. Of course. You know what I'm saying. But right now, though, the people like that would be the game.
Right.
I always wanted to produce.
Oh, for the game?
The game.
That'd be dope.
Games.
I feel like a lot of people don't give him.
Yasin, Al beat me to that. That's not going to happen. I mean, I didn't have a chance, but that would have been a wish list thing. It's just like you got to find somebody who knows that I have a Flyanic 45 that's fire. You got to find somebody who knows that, who's like all the way in tune. I don't want to solicit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you, I was just having this conversation with somebody. I feel like it'd be dope if, I don't know if Fonte just doesn't like rapping.
No, we talk. but about a 45, we talked about doing one. I would love it.
You and Fonte?
Yeah. Oh, no, on my label, production for him.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Last Little Brother shows are coming up of all time.
And the joints that Little Brother did with Conductor are fire.
Dude.
Slept on.
I would love for Fonte to just put out more music. And like the group, obviously. But well, listen, Ev, man, the project is out. People can go support it. It is these vinyls that you showed off are currently sold out. But
this is a bundle that's sold out with all the stuff that came together. But
got it. So the bundle's sold out, but there is
instrumental album still available, almost done, getting close. And then black vinyl all day.
Did you I want to ask this question because I just was talking. Did you guys ever have any run-ins with MF Doom?
So lucky. I got to produce a song for Doom, not with his acapella flown on top of it. He rapped on the beat for Cy Rock, dope MC on RhymeSayers.
Yeah.
She's ill. And Soul Messiah is the producer. He produces all her shit. They let me have 1 or 2 joints on the album. I was outside producer. And I got lucky enough that Doom got on one of those joints.
Also,
crazy.
How did you end up on the Reanimation Linkin Park project?
I think that was just a time when Linkin Park was looking to do a remix album with hip hop beats. So Amp Live is on there, Alchemist is on there, I'm on there. There's a lot of people on there.
Yeah, and also like a lot of people don't like. Mike Shinoda's like a fucking LA backpack baby,
and he could rap good. I got lucky because I had a song called High Voltage, it was a remix album. So it was called Reanimation because everyone remixed Linkin Park songs. I got lucky and got a song called High Voltage, which was the only song that wasn't remixed. It was just a song that had never been heard.
Wow.
That they performed live or some shit. And then we got Pharoah Monch on it.
Super dope.
Which was one of my other heroes. Pharoah Monch would be somebody I would like.
Pharoah Monch is
I think he would come over.
What was you guys had so many iconic tours. Think about the Little Brother tour, the Kanye tour, the Scratch tour was sick. The Word of Mouth tour was crazy. What's your favorite tour you've ever done? You could be as a member of the group, solo artist. What's your favorite tour?
Yeah, I didn't like touring. Let's start with that. So favorite and tour, that's like jumbo shrimp. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be making beats at home, producing shit. But once I look back on it,
okay,
shit was amazing. You know what I mean? So sometimes you're not in the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, the first tour with Dilated and Jurassic 5 was stupid because we had a shitty tour bus with 3 rap groups and DJs all...
Word of Mouth tour?
One, on the bus, people like sleeping in any available space like a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? Like ripping the curtains down.
I remember
wrapping them up as a blanket. No, like the most wild shit.
I think
ever.
I played you in Tony Hawk on the bus for that tour as a child, and I beat you. Yeah.
Sounds about right. The
core memory.
That was too crazy because I'm just young. You know what I mean? But later, I think there was a European RhymeSayers tour that was dope.
Oh man,
2011, me and Atmosphere and Brother Ali. I really enjoyed that.
That's a big tour.
It was dope.
Yeah.
It was tour buses and shit.
Is there anything? Because I feel like we don't get enough.
With Rage Against the Machine, we got to tour with them on their last tour. Dilated Peoples, Gangstar, Rage Against the Machine. Think about that. The fuck?
What year was that?
2000, the Battle of Los Angeles tour.
Holy shit. I didn't even...
That's legendary shit. You know what I mean?
Gangstar, Dilated, Rage Against the Machine.
Fucking crazy. And Rage Against the Machine were such gangsters for bringing out those groups.
That's wild. Shout out to Zach, man. Zach's crazy. A dope dog.
Yeah, they were breaking up.
Right.
On tour. You know what I mean? We're there. This shit crazy.
What is I feel like Slug and I guess just kind of when I think of maybe underappreciated or under talked about like guys who've like kind of done legendary shit, changed the game. I feel like Slug, Atmosphere, And RhymeSayers is in that conversation because I do feel like when you think about like Slug was getting like radio play like on alternative rock radio and like, but like making boom bap like dusty rap shit. Like, what is something that you've kind of learned from being so close to those guys? Because I do feel like they're underappreciated, undercelebrated, and they are, they are fucking goats in their own right,
Yeah, like I said before, Dilated was like, I learned everything I didn't learn from Dilated, I learned from them. So the recorded music of RhymeSayers wasn't part of my upbringing as far as like catalog. I knew Scapegoat, I knew Joints, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I wasn't, the audio of what they did, I was listening to Mobb Deep. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. It was they have very much like their own like corner of the.
Yeah, so I wasn't immersed. I was immersed. I knew the radiance of the success.
Yeah, you knew that they were doing well, but
I didn't know the nuance of it all. And when I got there, it was real jarring to me because I always thought like before you come out on a show, you're backstage with a mic going, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Right.
Y'all get ready. And then the beat drops and you walk out and you fucking bouncing and the crowd's going crazy. I never knew like the idea of like the mic on the mic stand and walking out slowly on top of a carpet, and taking the mic off the stand, saying what up to the people, putting the mic away, getting comfortable for a sec, and then dropping some shit, right? Like they just had a more rock and roll approach to the hip hop. Still pure as fuck. It's still a rapper and a DJ.
Of course.
But their approach to it was like I said, the in-ears, no hype man. No one doubling every other word. Like, no faking an encore. Like walking off unnecessarily to make the crowd so you can walk back on and be the man. Like just a lot of dumb shit that was the most important. Little shit, not
it's
dumb.
Funny you
know
said,
like
I feel like that, like how you said, like you were listening to Mobb Deep, but you knew the scope. It's almost like how I used to be that way with like Strange Music and Tech Nine, where I'd be like, yeah, I know like they're selling out every time they come to town. But then when I like went to the show
and got involved in it,
and I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
this shit it's crazy that there's just this other pocket of the game, the hip hop culture that like isn't whatever we're fucking into initially. I feel like Atmosphere is like a perfect example of that, where it's like Atmosphere was like it's either for you or it's not, but you can't deny how the impact and the success, you know what I mean? So
shout out to them.
So are you officially, after this album, everything's on your own label moving forward?
That's the idea. Yeah, move it there. It's bittersweet, because in an industry where everybody hates the label, I love RhymeSayers, and so they've done a lot of good for me outside of music as well, like just on some human shit. So I don't want to end it. I think that it'll be on a one-off basis.
Like, hey,
not contractually bound. Like, yo, let's do Unlearning.
Okay, let's do one.
Let's do one. You know what I mean?
And Unlearning Volume 3 or something,
or maybe 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
It is, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing.
But you want to be able to be like, hey, I want to drop an Evidence album on my shit.
Yeah, that's all it is.
A la carte shit.
That's it.
I respect that. 100%, man. Well, look, go get the album. The album is incredible. Unlearning Volume 2.
Proud of you, bro.
Proud of you, man.
Come on. No, I need you right. Fuck that. Other hand.
All right, there we go.
You see that bullshit.
Come on, man. Yeah, go get the album. Go get the puzzle.
I'm going to smoke weed.
We're going to smoke some weed. Evidence. Ladies and gentlemen.
I have a son.
He has a son.